What a significant rift that has opened up between Elon Musk and President Trump, seemingly out of nowhere.
Almost as big as a rift between the New York Knicks and Tom Thibodeau, Jonathan Lemire. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Elon Musk, yes, Mika, is lashing out against the president's domestic policy bill, calling it, quote, a disgusting abomination. Musk made that comment on social media yesterday, writing in part, shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. Musk went on to say the legislation will increase the budget deficit to $2.5 trillion, actually the debt, and burden American citizens. He then suggested next year voters, quote, fire all politicians who betrayed the American people by voting for this bill. The post comes on the heels of Musk telling CBS News last week the budget bill undermines the work of his Department of Government Efficiency. House Speaker Mike Johnson responded to Musk's criticism of the budget bill, telling reporters he spoke to the Tesla CEO about the legislation on Monday.
With all due respect, my friend Elon is terribly wrong about the one big beautiful bill. It's a very important first start. Elon is missing it, okay? And it's not personal. I know that the EV mandate, very important to him, that is going away because the government should not be subsidizing these things. It's part of the Green New Deal, and I know that has an effect on his business, and I lament that. We talked about the ramp down period on that and how that should be duly considered by Congress, but for him to come out and ban the whole bill is to me just very disappointing, very surprising in light of the conversation I had with him yesterday.
Joining us now, the co-host of our fourth hour, Jonathan Lemire. He's a contributing writer at The Atlantic covering the White House and national politics. Also, White House reporter for Axios, Mark Caputo, and co-founder of Punchbowl News, John Bresnahan. Great group assembled to talk through this. Mark, I want to start with you because you had the first reporting yesterday for Axios about where this came from, this outburst from Elon Musk about the so-called big, beautiful bill, which he said last week, a bill can be either big or beautiful, but not both. So what's driving his very public criticism of the bill?
Well, we're told that there were basically 4 inflection points for Elon Musk. There was the EV tax credit that was just referenced by Speaker Johnson. Starlink, which is a company that he owns, a satellite company, wanted a bid or wanted to control, we're told, the FAA's new air traffic control system. He was a special government employee. Again, it appears that he wanted to stay in that role, and the White House told him, no, you can't by statute. And then lastly, and most recently, and perhaps most importantly, relative to when he came out and said this, Elon Musk's pick to be the NASA administrator, a friend of his or an acquaintance, Jared Isaacman, was summarily and unexpectedly canceled as Donald Trump's pick on Saturday night. And there was a lot of suspicion that various White House staffers conspired to have this done as, according to one person who I spoke to, an FU to Elon Musk. And after that, it seems, and I'm told, and we see, Elon Musk got very sour on the bill. He waited until White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt was at the podium for maximum damage, and then he released his post and just sort of wrecked the White House's afternoon with what he said.
Yeah, so here John Bresnahan is part of what he said. I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it. In November next year, we fire all politicians who betrayed the American people. That's Elon Musk's post yesterday. So, Brez, I guess the question is, does this matter for the lawmakers on Capitol Hill? We heard Speaker Johnson saying, well, Elon, my dear friend, just doesn't understand it. I've reached out to him. I'll explain it to him. Elon, based on those statements yesterday, doesn't seem terribly persuadable. Does this criticism from the world's wealthiest man, a close ally for a long time of President Trump, does it matter to the legislative process?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, Republican senators, the Senate was in yesterday, Republican senators couldn't run away faster from this question. I mean, they were literally, I had one guy sprint, I had a Republican senator sprint away from me, literally sprint away from me. What they were trying to say, oh, Musk is a private citizen. This is his own opinion. He's got, you know, as Mark in his excellent reporting talked about, you know, he's upset about the EV mandate. and Mike Johnson, Speaker Johnson, had raised this. But this is a big deal. You also saw Republicans who have problems with this bill, like Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, who told us reporters yesterday, he's like, Musk is right. This bill doesn't cut enough. It's got to be redone. And that's a huge problem for the House leadership, for Johnson, if the Senate tries to overhaul the bill. And it's a problem for Trump. And this is where we have an important meeting today. We have the Senate Finance Committee Republicans. These are the guys who do the tax portion of this bill and the Medicaid portion of this bill. They're going down to meet with Trump, and Senate Majority Leader Thune will be with them. And they know that Trump is the only one who can get Musk off their back if there's a problem on this.
So, John Lemire, $2.3 to $5 trillion over the next decade, according to the CBO, this bill would add massive tax cuts and everything else that comes with it. How does the White House grapple? Does it care with the criticism from Elon Musk, a man who was standing in the Oval Office a few days ago?
Well, as noted, Musk's statement came as White House Press Secretary Karen Leavitt was at the podium. She was asked about it in real time and said, well, she downplayed it, said the president's aware of Elon's feelings about this, but he still stands behind the one big, beautiful bill, in her words. And then they quickly tried to push past it. And we have not heard from Trump himself yet on this. I think every reporter in Washington, myself included, our eyes glued to Truth Social to see if Trump would respond to Musk. He has not, at least not yet, but at some point he will. We do expect that he'll be in front of cameras today, which he has not been for the last couple of days. So we may hear from him later today. I think this was already going to be a messy process. Yes, this got through the House just barely. There were some people who opposed it. Congressman Massey, who gave Musk an attaboy already yesterday, saying, yes, I share your concerns. And Musk is not wrong in terms of how it's going to increase spending, and that does fly in the face of what Doge was trying to do. And Mark, of course, also laid out some of the other behind-the-scenes reasons why Musk opposed this. The Senate was already had its real problems with it. This gives them more fuel. But I think, Mika, it also is just worth taking a second here just to go big picture at how remarkable this is. Elon Musk spent a record amount of money, tens upon hundreds of millions of dollars, to help elect President Trump. He then, on January 20th, became the most, I'd argue, most powerful, sort of government official we've had in a very long time, an unelected government official, but empowered by Trump to basically handed him the keys to the government. Do what you will. And here, just 4.5 months later, not only is he out, but he's out there taking, just savaging the president's signature piece of his agenda. Like, his entire legislative agenda is in this one bill. And the guy who a few days ago was still his most powerful aide has said it's a disgusting abomination. Just remarkable that we're here now.
The chainsaw still works.